Imagine losing something valuable, your purse, filled with your ID, cards, and everything you need. Panic sets in, and you think it's gone forever. But then something incredible happens. In today's heartwarming story, a young boy named Jaden, just 12 years old, stumbles upon a woman's lost purse while walking home from school. Most people would assume the worst when a stranger finds their belongings, but Jaden's next move will truly surprise you. Instead of keeping it or walking away, he takes a step that not only changes this woman's day, but sparks a chain reaction that no one saw coming. What unfolds next is a reminder that kindness knows no age and sometimes comes from the most unexpected places. Stay tuned. You won't believe how this beautiful act of compassion touches more lives than just one. Trust me, this is a story that will stay with you. Jaden had always been taught to do the right thing, even when no one was watching. As he picked up the purse lying near the bus stop, he glanced around, hoping to see its owner. But the street was empty, just the sound of passing cars in the distance. Curious but cautious, he opened it just enough to spot a driver's license and a few neatly folded bills. The photo on the ID showed a smiling woman named Mrs. Thompson. Jaden knew exactly what he had to do. But there was a problem. He didn't recognize the name or address, and it was getting late. His mother would be waiting for him at home. Still, something inside wouldn't let him leave it there. What if it's really important to her? He thought. Little did Jaden know, this simple decision would spark a journey that neither he nor Mrs. Thompson would ever forget. Jaden clutched the purse tightly as he walked toward his neighborhood, his mind racing with questions. Should he go straight home or try to find Mrs. Thompson? He knew his mom would understand, but the thought of carrying someone else's belongings made him anxious. What if she's already searching for it? What if she's upset or scared? He wondered. At that moment, Jaden spotted his neighbor, Mr. Daniels, watering his garden. Always full of advice, Mr. Daniels noticed Jaden's nervous expression and called out, "Everything all right, kid?" Jaden hesitated but then approached him, explaining the situation. Mr. Daniels nodded thoughtfully. "You know," he said, "people don't always expect honesty these days. What you're doing matters." Encouraged but still uncertain, Jaden decided he wouldn't give up. He asked Mr. Daniels for help finding the address. But just as they were about to leave, a car slowly pulled up beside them. Jaden's heart raced. Could this be her? The car came to a slow stop, the engine humming softly as the window rolled down. Jaden froze, his pulse quickening. A woman with tired eyes but a kind face leaned toward the open window. "Excuse me," she called out, "have either of you seen a black purse around here?" Jaden's grip on the purse tightened. He glanced nervously at Mr. Daniels, who gave a reassuring nod. "Is your name Mrs. Thompson?" Jaden asked, his voice steady but cautious. The woman's eyes widened in surprise. "Yes, that's me." "Oh my goodness, do you have it?" she exclaimed, nearly jumping out of her seat. Jaden took a deep breath and held the purse up. Relief washed over her face, but before anyone could say more, something unexpected happened. Another car screeched to a halt behind hers, and a man stepped out, waving frantically. "Wait, don't leave," he shouted. The scene suddenly grew tense. What was going on? Jaden's eyes darted between Mrs. Thompson and the man hurrying toward them. The tension in the air was thick, and Jaden couldn't help but wonder if returning the purse had somehow created more problems than it solved. The man, wearing a worried expression, stopped just a few steps away. "Is everything okay here?" he asked, slightly out of breath. "It's real," he said, "but it's not just any job. You'll be leading a team working on an innovative project that could change everything, if you're ready for it." Just when Tasha thought she had a handle on everything, the final twist hit her. Linda, who had been watching the entire exchange, suddenly spoke up. "I wasn't part of the plan to deceive you, Tasha," she said, her voice softer than before. "I was supposed to stop you from getting too close to him, to protect the project from outsiders. But I made a mistake. I should have been on your side." Tasha stood there, unsure of what to believe. Her mind buzzed with questions and confusion. She had been tested, manipulated, and betrayed, but now she was given a chance to rise. Could she trust the man who had orchestrated it all, or was this just another game? The weight of the decision pressed on her chest, and she realized that the biggest choice was yet to come. Would she walk away from everything she knew, or take a leap into the unknown? The room held its breath, waiting for her answer. Tasha took a deep breath, her heart racing as she looked from the millionaire to Linda. For a moment, it all seemed too overwhelming, too much to process. But something inside her clicked. She realized this was more than a test of her skills or loyalty. It was a test of her own strength and resilience. She wasn't just being handed an opportunity. She had earned it every step of the way. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady and sure. "I'll take the job." The millionaire smiled, a sense of relief washing over him. Linda, too, seemed to breathe easier, nodding in approval. Tasha knew her life was about to change, but she was no longer scared. This was her chance to prove herself, not just to them, but to herself. As she walked out of the cafe, she couldn't help but smile. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, she felt ready to face whatever came next. The shock of her life had led her to the greatest opportunity yet.